Everybody loves to tell you what not to do in your 20s. Don't waste time. Don't do this, don't do that. But honestly, that's just not real life. Your 20s, if we're being real, are messy, confusing, and full of a lot of choices and decisions that maybe won't make sense till many years later, like until you're in your 30s, like I am now. But with that being said, some of these choices that you make in your 20s do end up shaping everything later on. Who you become, how you think, how you move through the world. In this video, I want to walk you through some decisions, some things that I did in my 20s that I am so grateful, so glad that I did now that I'm in my 30s. Not because they were perfect, not because I had everything perfectly figured out, because I certainly did not and definitely made my fair share of mistakes, but I also did some things right, again, that I'm really grateful for, that gave me skills, resilience, and perspective that I really couldn't have gotten any other way. So, if you're in your 20s or you're at a different phase of life, but you're looking at trying to rebuild, then stick with me because I've got 7 things that I'd like to share that really changed the game for me, that have put me in a really good place in my 30s. Maybe you'll get a couple ideas of some things that could really move the needle or at least make a positive difference in your life. The first thing that I did in my 20s was work a variety of jobs. I had a couple different factory jobs. I also worked in a couple different sales jobs where I was selling sporting goods to supplements and nutrition products. I also worked at a car auction. I worked at a hospital and in a nursing home. So I had a variety of different jobs that just gave me perspective. Technically, some of these jobs I did in my teenage years, like my later teenage years, but hey, I still counted them. Working in all of these different types of industries, these different types of jobs helped me get much more clearer, faster on like who I was and who I wasn't, the types of things that I liked, the types of environments I liked, the types of people I liked being around. And it also helped me see a little bit early on, like, okay, these things I'm actually kind of good at, but maybe this, really isn't for me. And you could get that type of experience by going to, classes in college for 4 years, but that's not the path that I took. And I got a lot of real life, real world skills that definitely prepared me for my 30s. The second thing that I did was I got serious about my fitness. I got serious about exercising and understanding nutrition because I had spent all my time in high school being overweight, never exercising, never working out. And if I wouldn't have started doing that in my 20s, I can't imagine where I would be today. Going through that massive physical transformation that I went through in my 20s is what allowed me to enter the military ultimately and be successful, which, where is entering the military? That's number 7 on my list, but it was just such a big thing for me because going through that, one, it helped me feel so much more confident and so much more capable. Like knowing that I already did one of the most difficult things for humans to do, which is lose a bunch of weight and get in shape for the first time, right? Like that gave me the confidence and the audacity to take on other big, challenging things in life. And it helps me really understand myself too in terms of why I do things or why I don't do things, because the fitness journey, the mindset that you go through, how you have to approach it, it really is a personal development process. It's a character development process. It's a discipline development process. And these are soft skills, but like real things that really serve you in life. And with that, the third thing that I did that I'm so grateful for now in my 30s is studying personal development. Now, when I say studying personal development, I don't just mean like reading a bunch of self-help books, which I did do a fair share of that and still do from time to time, and looking at different types of healing modalities that are out there just to see how could I become a better person? How could I become a better leader? How could I become a better husband one day for my family? How could I become a better man just so that I could be more proud of myself? And I'm so grateful that I did, because now I'm able to be a positive influence and a leader for people around me. The perspective that I have and the things that I've learned over the years really do get to make a difference for people. And I feel so much more empowered when I come up against all different types of life stressors and challenges, and I see them as opportunities to continue developing myself versus things that break me down. I've gone through a lot of things that would break a lot of people, but because my level of personal development has been improving through the years, I'm able to turn those situations into purpose versus them just staying at pain. The fourth thing that I've done, I'm super grateful for, which is kind of like very close to the one I just said, but different, and that's hire coaches to teach me things. So I really don't believe in figuring everything out by yourself. I don't believe in taking on certain journeys by yourself. I firmly believe in being highly supported. I really believe in saving time by working with people who have done the things that you want to do or are experts in the things that you would like to become an expert in. It couldn't be me trying to figure everything out by myself. I have no desire to do that. And so I've hired coaches for a lot of different things. I've hired coaches for bodybuilding. I've hired coaches for my healing journey and process. I've hired coaches for business, learning different things about business. I've even hired dog trainers to help me have a better relationship and handling of my dogs. To me, it's just really important to go to the people who know, and it saves you time, it saves you energy, and it helps you just get the outcome and get the results that you're wanting. Do I think that everybody needs to hire a coach? Yeah, I do, because I really do believe in focusing on that outside perspective. Because I really do believe that having an outside perspective is helpful, especially the perspective of someone who knows the journey, who knows the process intimately, and has helped other people with that journey or that process. There's only so much you can see and understand from the inside. It is helpful to have that outside perspective. And you can always push yourself a little bit further when you have that support system in your corner than you could by yourself. This is why anyone who wants to be good at anything usually has a coach in some shape or form, whether that's sports or whether that's leadership. The fifth one is go to therapy. Going to therapy, something that I'm so grateful that I started doing in my 20s, because it really just helped me understand myself. It helped me become a better person in terms of not letting my trauma or not letting my wounds bleed on other people as much. And it's helped me honestly have insight and clarity in terms of what is it that I really need in my relationships? What is it that I really need in my day-to-day? And it's helped me just be better able to understand what's going on inside of myself emotionally, so that my emotions aren't running the show, but rather I have some insight, I have some control over that. If I hadn't gone to therapy, I wouldn't be nearly as good of a husband as I am. If I hadn't gone to therapy, I'd probably still really feel like I have no empowerment in any of my mental health challenges that I have faced over the years. So I'm really grateful for that. The sixth thing that I'm really grateful for is I truly pushed my limits in terms of a goal. So one of the things that I had to do is learn another language, one of the most difficult languages in the world. And that is something that stretched me in every single way. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about my capability and my capacity. And I really do believe that your 20s is that time where you really get to play full out. You really get to give your all to something. You know, that was a time in my life where maybe I wasn't sleeping as much. Maybe I wasn't, there wasn't really a lot of balance. There wasn't really a lot of mindfulness, right? But I was doing something bold. I was doing something big. And I'm just really grateful that I did that. I'm so grateful that I did that. And I can say that I've done something that like less than 0.1% of people in the world will get to do and experience. Saying yes to something like that in my 20s, it kind of gives me the confidence and the foundation to keep being bold and to keep taking on things in life that maybe other people might be too scared to do, like picking up this camera here and making videos, for example. The sixth one, I'm just saying I'm grateful that the younger version of me decided to say yes to something big and something really, really difficult and didn't back down from a challenge. Seventh one, the last one, the thing that I'm really grateful for that I did in my 20s is do an active duty military career. One of the ways that that's benefited me now is I have education benefits, and I was able to use what's called a VA loan to purchase a home, which is a huge advantage and a huge leg up in being able to become a homeowner. And so, that is something that will benefit myself and my family for years to come. And so if you're watching this video, I'm curious if you've done any of these things in your 20s and maybe you can relate. When I look at this list of things, which by all means isn't like a fully exhaustive list, but when I look at some of these things, I could have never imagined the type of impacts that they'd have on me today. They were just things that felt like the right thing or the necessary thing to do in the moment. If you're watching this in a season where your next move feels a little bit uncertain or like you're not sure what to do next, hopefully this offered you some sort of insight or some sort of confirmation. I hope that you take this video as proof that like the smaller decisions really compound and mean something later, even if you can't necessarily see it right now. If this helped you think differently in some way or gave you something to hang on to in the moment, then hope you consider subscribing, like the video if you made it this far, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.